Today I want to talk about what I'm working on, what I've stopped doing, and why that shift matters. I'll give you a quick snapshot on the projects that I'm working on. As you can see in the background, I have my Sesame character so far, and the next one that's coming will be Oscar. We're going to do Oscar, we're going to do Grover and Super Grover mods. With Oscar, there's going to be a little Slimy, his little pet worm, along with that. And what's the third one? Count. And I think that's it. Cookie Monster, 4 more. So that will be 10 altogether, but I think there was one more on top of that and I can't remember. But anyways, let me know if I'm missing somebody. That's super important. I'm really excited to get these done and to get this out into the world as a pattern pack and also in print form. So look forward to that. That should be coming. I'm hoping to get those all designed by the end of January, possibly into February, and then get that pack ready for you, get the videos uploaded for the members, and go from there. Another thing that I'm doing is I'm reworking our Manini Gnome. So I'm adding some mods to it. I'm so excited about this one. This has been such a fun pattern, like right from the get-go. So I'll show you what we're working on right now. So you can see we've got some toes going on here, and now I'm just working on the buns. So that's where we're at with the Manini Gnome. There will be a full tutorial. I'm not totally sure when I'll have that ready, but the full tutorial will be available to members with all the mods, and there's going to be different hats for him. We're going to give him a fuller beard and some beach toys. So that's coming, and I'm pretty darn excited about that. So one thing that's slower and harder than I would like it to be is making those books. So creating those books, getting the patterns ready, getting them into the correct format. There's so many steps that take so much time. So that is that's really something that I kind of struggle with a little bit. And that leads me into something I've been thinking about a lot lately, and that would be over-delivering. So I am by nature a people pleaser and a person that doesn't like conflict. So I like to really give my best. I like to go over and above. I like to be the person that over-delivers. And I've been doing that all my life, and now being in my 50s, I can see how it's taken a toll. I can see how tiring it is, and I don't want to do it anymore is the bottom line. So making that choice to stop over-delivering, to apologize for my prices, just that people-pleasing piece is what I'm really looking at. So I have always been a person, like I started working when I was 16. I started working at McDonald's. It was such a fun job. I really loved it. And I learned about customer service, and I learned about, going beyond people's expectations. That is truly where I learned that. And it was fun, and I liked it, and it was good. But I have also sort of crossed over. There's like been a, like sort of a, I don't know, a Rubicon or something that I've crossed over, and it's gone beyond that. Like it's gone beyond like delivering good service. It's moved into that whole arena of people pleasing, and it's not healthy. It's lacking boundaries and all of those things. So I've grappled with that. I've sort of been working on what I want in my life, how I want to accept things into my life, what I'm consuming, not just food-wise, but what am I consuming on social media? What am I consuming just in the world? Who are my friends? Who am I surrounding myself with? And I know this might not sound like it has anything to do with crochet, but it feels like it's got a lot to do with my crochet business. So when I'm talking about over delivering in terms of crochet or handmade business, I'm talking about things like pricing. I'm talking about giving friends and families a good deal. I'm talking about 2-for-1s, those sales, Black Friday sales, all of those things. I will interject because I just had a Boxing Day sale for a specific customer segment. So I want to just tell you a little bit about this. So rather than doing a blanket sale where everybody gets a great deal, what I've done on my website, it's just one of the features within the email app that I have, is that I can target certain segments in my customer or people that have signed up for the newsletter. So there is a segment where it's specifically people that have ordered more than once from me, and so there were about, I think, between 300 and 400 people on that list that I could send this special one day Boxing Day really good, really huge deal to them. So it was just a way of kind of saying thank you to them for coming back and their loyalty. And I do like to do sales. It's fun, but I am done offering just big blanket sales. That whole piece about sales is really super interesting, and this also goes back to what I'm not going to do, the over delivery piece. So who's my audience? Who are the people that I'm selling to? My patterns they're really good. They deliver what they're supposed to, and so I'm being at this age, being with this experience, it's time for me to embrace that, and it's time for me to sort of honor those patterns, honor my experience, and charge accordingly. So there's no guesswork, so people don't guess, like, if they get a Fat Lady Crochet pattern, is it going to be good, or is there going to be a lot of mistakes, or is my item going to come out really weird? What's going to happen? I just don't want that. I've worked really hard to eliminate that. Yes, mistakes do happen, and they always will, of course. And one thing that I do offer is if somebody finds a typo or just a mistake in general, if they let me know, then they get a free pattern. So because I really super value that feedback, and it really helps me create better patterns. So that's my system. But just to go back to the sales, who am I selling to? I'm selling to people that want to be rest assured that they're getting a high quality piece, a high quality pattern, something that has been tested and tried and true. So what that people pleasing over delivery aspect sort of cost me was, gosh, there were a lot of things. So it cost me valuing myself. So I felt sort of, what would be the word? Just unappreciated, I guess is the word, and disrespected in some ways. I was doing it to myself. Like, I want to be clear, nobody was doing that to me. This is my feelings. This is what I was doing. But I felt like I needed to undervalue what I had and what I was doing and my experience. I needed to undervalue that in order to sell, in order to make money. And I've learned that trade-off isn't worth it at all. That is a losing trade-off for me, because it was killing my creativity. It was making me feel bad, as well as it was just not honoring my pieces. It wasn't honoring the work that I do and what I love to do. It was not honoring that. So that's what it was costing me. But I really want to be clear that stopping doing something isn't quitting, it's refining. And that's the wonderful thing that we get to do as business owners, as creative people. We get to continually refine. So the way that I see my business is in itself a creative endeavor. It's a creation. It's a self-expression. It's a creative expression. It's all of those things. So it's not that I am like turning my back on what I've done in the past. It's not like that. I've learned from it and I'm refining. So what has changed since I stopped really focusing on that people pleasing is that I felt more freedom. I felt more confidence. It's such a joy to create the things that I want to create. I don't have to get a whole bunch of stock made of the same thing for a market, which is so difficult for people like probably all of us. I find that so boring to do, and I just don't want to do it. It has freed up time because I'm not doing things that I don't want to do. I am really focused on the things that I do want to do. So I don't feel like, oh my gosh, like I have to get such and such done before I can keep working on this Manini Gnome or whatever. Like it just feels like I have more time and more flexibility. So it comes back to that long game mentality, sustainability over hustle. So I don't mind some of the hustle. The hustle's kind of fun sometimes, but really what I'm looking for is sustainability. So why I'm telling you this is not to encourage you to change anything, like just reflect on it. So where in your life, you know what I mean? Like where in your life are you almost trespassing against yourself? You're not honoring your gifts or your time or your expertise or your love, your passion. Maybe it's time to think about that. Maybe it's time to change something. And I'd love to know what's something that you feel like you've outgrown lately. Have a wonderful day. See you next time. Bye.